You're listening to What's Hot on NCCU AudioNet.
It is What's Hot with Shamai Cook. I am Shamai Cook. Got my special guest. I got two special guests in the building today. Mr. Sophomore elect Malachi Griddine, and also Mr. NCCU, Mr. Gabriel Bason. Thank you guys so much for coming on the show. How you guys doing today?
Doing good, man. How about you?
I'm blessed, black, and highly favored. Just make sure you speak into the mic.
Got you.
Good. So you guys are here to react to what I said last week about SGA and Royal Court and Greek life. And that's just give the audience a little playback of what I said last week. The great point that this person made. Okay, this is what the person said, and I quote: "They might as well just call SGA GBA or GGA, Greek Government Association. This expletive is dumb AF. Who agrees?" That person makes a great point. Half of SGA is GB, the Gamma Beta chapter of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated. Look at the archives and look at the history. All the kings have been alphas or have been interests, allegedly. Here at Central, Greek life is very forced on people. If you want to be a student leader, you got to be Greek. And don't get me wrong, I love the D9s because that's part of black culture, part of HBCU culture. Absolutely. Just because you're not in the organization doesn't mean that you can't be a good student leader. And it seems like that's forced on people. With the elections, they always make it seem like, oh, it's the students that vote. No, this is just my opinion. I feel like the advisor and stuff at SGA and Royal Court, they choose who they want to win. They never publicize the results of the election, right? Put it on their social media page, and that's kind of fishy to me. And that's not how democracy should run. And this is the kicker. Current SGA president Cameron Emery, and this is what made it very, very obvious. He said this the semester before he crossed Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated. He said, and I quote, "Alphas have always been queens and have been NCCU kings, and that's not going to change." And that's before he crossed.
See, that's what I'm saying.
Yes.
Like, if you already know that's your way in, then you already know that's your way in.
Yeah. So that was the tape, and you guys are here to and that clip surfaced on Fizz. It was trending on Fizz last week. And you guys are here to comment. Go ahead.
Yeah, man. So I feel like you had a lot of points that I did not agree with in that in your podcast, especially the point where you said the SJ elections are rigged. They pick who they want to win, and especially the part about how you say Greek life is very forced if you want to be a student leader. A lot of those is not true. Everybody who is in those positions most of the time already had their positions before they was in Greek life, and they so happen to want to do Greek life after that. So a lot of people say the elections are rigged, but y'all are kind of seeing from the outside in and not really seeing what other people are doing before that or beforehand. Because I was Mr. Freshman before I was an Alpha, right? Yeah. So how can y'all say the elections are rigged if I was already Mr. Freshman?
Because that was your way in. That was what I'm saying. That was your way in. That's what I was making. I want to actually bring back the point of how I said last week, and you heard it in the clip, how the results are not published. I said they are published, but as I said in the clip, they are not marketed on the social media page. That as a regular election will be posted. That's the only thing I had with it. Go ahead, Gabe. What's your take?
So first and foremost, I'm giving you your flowers. Like, I appreciate how you do the podcast.
Radio show.
A radio show. I'm sorry. I appreciate how you do it. You speak for the students. Yep. But what I have a problem with is sometimes I feel like you try to tell your own spin off on the truth. SGA has been mostly alphas. AKA's just got the vice president chair, and the student body president Emmanuel, he's an alpha. Yes, correct. But at the end of the day that's one thing that we do. We try to develop leaders, so that's why we don't force these people to run for these positions. I don't want you to put that narrative out there. That's not what we do. Because at the end of the day is Keith he's the live 5 on Spring 24. I asked him, did he want to run for senior class president? That's not something he wanted to do. So we don't force nobody to run. So that's a bad narrative that you playing out there.
Yeah. Well, the narrative I was trying to put out, and it made me have misconstrued, but people agreed with the narrative is that why does it, if it seems like here at Central, and it might be a culture thing, that if you're not in these D9 organizations, like I said in the quote as well, there's no disrespect to these D9 organizations because that's part of culture. That's part of HBCU culture. That's part of college culture as well, especially here at Central. But it seems like if you're not in these positions, unless you're just coming into the school, that you don't have a chance of winning, or you don't have a fair democracy of why, if I'm not Greek or interest allegedly, why can I not get a position? That's the point I was trying to make.
But then it goes to the student body.
Yeah.
The student body has to vote. A lot of people don't be voting, and that's why these people, we keep on seeing the Greeks in office. Because at the end of the day, is the Greeks are getting the votes. People need to vote. Mm-hmm. If you want to change something, they have to go out there and actually vote. If you want us to try to change the voting, make it more public so everybody could see it, that's something that we need to work on as students, student leaders.
I just feel like, to me, this is my opinion, like I was saying, it just seems like it's not a fair democracy at SGA here at Central. And I guess it's the students, the student body who don't make it a fair democracy. But this is just my question. How does it make sense? Make this make sense to me. How does it make sense if the two people from SEAL to the advisor, and I'm not going to say any names, but the advisor, are alumni and also former initiatives of that chapter? How does it keep making it seem like these people are putting these people in it? And you could make it seem like they don't have the power, but make that make sense. How does that look? You see when I'm looking from that islands? How does that make sense?
I can tell you we are not here to answer any questions on behalf of SEAL or anybody related to that, so we're not going to speak upon that. But I can say, again, there's other people who view the elections and everything like that, and they also oversee the elections, so they would see if something is happening that's not right with the elections. That's all we're going to say regarding the people in SEAL.
Yeah, okay. What was I going to say? I'm sorry. Gabe?
Nah, he really said it. That like, there's really though other people that there's protocol that when voting is going through, it's not just one person set for a set of eyes. There's faculties that actually has to look at this, and I promise you, there's faculties that really does not really trying to care who really is going to be the next. Whoever the student vote for, that's where we're gonna go with. So I feel like we need to trust the student body that actually voted and to give these people a chance to actually do their jobs. Everybody ran a hell of a campaign. Mm-hmm. Everybody did a wonderful job. Yeah. The people that won deserve to win.
Mm-hmm. Well, let's bring this back, and this is I forgot to bring this point back up last week. Last year you weren't here, Malachi, but last spring, right? Mm-hmm. SGA president, it was Cameron Emery versus Devin Freeman, yes. Right? And we saw how both parties, and you saw what happened when it came to Cameron. He was then the vice president, SGA student body vice president at the time, but he was running to be president at the time, right? And he used his platform as the vice president, right, which is against protocol, right, to say that he had to take time, I get personal reasons, away from his campaign, right? But that's a violation of the rules. But somehow he won. And somehow he was an initiative of GB.
He wasn't initiative yet.
Not yet, but he was.
He wasn't initiative.
He wasn't an initiative.
And to that scenario that you just said, he was definitely corrected. He actually did get his punishment for doing that.
But he still won.
But he still won as the student body voted for him. Mm-hmm. He was the vote favorite. Mm-hmm. He won fair and square. And I feel like people was that was a tragic day in his life. like something really bad happened in his life, and he was just trying to let people know, like, that's why he's not on campus. And his brothers, his brothers really ran his campaign and made sure that he could actually be the next student body president. So I don't feel like we should use that scenario, but at the end of the day he did get his punishment. He got his punishment.
Yeah, that's just my only thing. It just seems like it's very forced on people, and I guess, and looking at other schools, this has been, I guess this is a trend with, I guess Greek life and stuff, and talking to other people, and this is not the only thing. Like, alumni have noticed it as well. Alumni have saying this probably is not going to change. It's how it is. But does it make it right? That is my only question, because Greek life is not for everybody. That's the only take.
Yeah, I feel like, into that, to say on that, I feel like to be a leader, you don't need to be Greek.
Yeah.
You don't. And I feel like if there's a better leader than someone that is Greek, then we need to vote for these people in office. We need to stop trying to blame the Greek organizations and trying to say that we're brainwashing people and trying to force people to come Greek, and that's a gateway to come GB. Because that's not a gateway to come GB. Mm-hmm. We don't care about if you was in SGA. We care what type of alpha. Can you be a true alpha man? Mm-hmm. So that's not a gateway.
But you see my point though, how it looks that way from the outside.
It does look like that, but at the end of the day, is you would never know what's going inside of the house of Gamma Beta if you're not in the house.
True.
So you can't speak on something that you don't know nothing about.
That's why I said allegedly.
Okay,
that's cool. Why I said allegedly. Go ahead, Malachi.
My question is, how does it look forced upon everybody? Like, it seems like you're trying to say we had no choice but to become a member of GB in order to get these positions. So it's kind of like you're discrediting our work and everything.
Oh no, I'm not discrediting your work. I'm just saying it's this. If you look at the past people who have been in these positions in Royal Corps and SGA, a lot of them have been alphas. They have been GB. That's the thing, and it seems like it's a pattern. And that my only question is it right? That's just my only question.
I believe it is right, because at the end of the day, I'm not saying it's right that you have to be Greek in order to become a member of SGA or anything like that.
Yeah.
But I'm saying it is right. You're saying that like we're rigging the elections or we're doing something wrong in order to get into these positions. But again, the student body are voting us into these positions. And if we're running against other people, you can't say that we're wrong, because again, we had to be elected into those positions. It's not like we're being appointed into those positions. We'll be different.
And like, to pick back off what he's saying, is like, a lot of these positions also only have one person running.
True. And I see a lot of people, especially this semester. I'm just saying past.
Yeah, but I'm just. We're gonna talk about this semester. Like, so my terms, I have not ran against nobody. Mm-hmm. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. So we can't get mad that it keeps being Greek organization. A lot of people is not running for these positions. So we can't get mad if you're not gonna run and you're not gonna vote. Don't get mad. We can't, like, your voice always matters, but we gotta vote. We have to vote. People need to start voting.
Okay. Thank you guys so much for coming on the show. That is Malachi Griddine and Gabriel Bason here on What's Hot. It's What's Up with Shemai Cook. Keep it here.
You're listening to What's Hot on NCCU AudioNet.